Hey everyone, Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeois here, the editor of Larger Louisiana Cooking Magazine. I got the Louisiana Cooking crew out at my house here to show y'all some tips, tricks, recipes from outdoor cooking. I got a classic Louisiana grilling recipe here, and that's redfish on the half shell. Let's get to it. All right, so if you're not familiar with redfish on the half shell, the term comes from the redfish fillets still having the scale on, as you can see here. And now having those scales on kind of acts as a bowl or a vessel for that redfish flesh and meat to cook very gently in the smoker, and really kind of encapsulates all those flavors that are going on in there with the yellow mustard and the rub. While it's smoking, I'm gonna put together a little butter mop that I can continue to add on to this redfish as it cooks over the next hour, hour and a half. All right, so for this recipe, I wanna make a simple kind of basting butter for this fish. I'm using some simple herbs like rosemary and oregano for my brush. I'm adding finely chopped shallots and garlic with smoked paprika, lemon, bay leaf, and black pepper to a couple sticks of butter. I'm just melting them on the grill right now, and I'm gonna use that butter to baste that fish throughout the process, throughout that hour-long cooking time, make sure it stays nice and moist, succulent, and flavorful. All right, so it's been about 15 minutes that my butter has been on the grill, just kind of melting away, and you can see that looks pretty good right there. Fish is starting to cook, so we want to make sure we start getting that brush on there. And very simply, I'm just going to add that herb brush into the mixture and just give it a good liberal soaking on that fish. About every 15 minutes, I'm going to come back and do that same exact thing to that fish throughout the cooking process. All right, our redfish has been smoking on this grill. We've been basting it throughout. It's ready to go. I've kind of flaked a little bit of the thicker piece off just to make sure it's done. It's juicy, it's fallen from that scale, and that's exactly what we want to see. Let's take a look inside. Very simply, you can just take a couple different spatulas or one long spatula. Like that. You can see how that butter has coated the top and gave it that bronze look. That's what we're looking for. Let's see what the second piece is like. Oh yeah, also beautiful. We can just give it a little bit extra love from the herb brush. A couple lemons to squeeze with that. That's it. That is your Louisiana redfish on the half shell. As you can see, all that moisture pooling on the bottom, that's because of the scale still on. Just further proof of how moisture is retained with this half shell cooking method. It's guaranteed, even the biggest redfish, to stay moist. Y'all know what counts. Just like I remember it from being a little boy, but just plussed up enough to make it mine. Man, that is delicious. Y'all gotta try this out. Next time y'all have any type of fish with the scale on, whether that be snapper, sheep's head, red drum, redfish, it's a perfect application to cook like this with those fish.